I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Holcomb from the 11 Alive Weather Impact Team. It's Wednesday night, 9 o'clock. Here's your extended weather discussion. And we have a lot to talk about because some of you are not only getting rain, but you're getting a lot of it. Take a look at radar right now and you can see that mainly north of I-20. Now, I want you to see here, a lot of times at this time at night, we get some false echoes, and that's what's showing up here on the live radar scan right now. So all of this green around Atlanta and on the south side isn't actually rain that's making it to the ground. But I'm wanting to keep it into this mode, though, so that we can give you a good look at these cells that are on the north side that contain the really heavy rain with them, and even still some thunder and lightning. And these showers have been lingering over the same spots for a while. And some areas are picking up some really good rainfall totals here. We're going to take a look at those coming up in just a little bit too. But again, it's one of those things where it's the case of the haves and the have-nots. Some folks haven't even picked up any rain today, while other folks are getting a lot of it. Now, as of right now, we don't have any flood warnings in effect here in North Georgia or the metro Atlanta area, but any additional rain that keeps coming down there, if these don't diminish anytime soon, we may have some individual areas where we can see some flood warnings issued. Now, again, I think that the threshold is still below that right now, but just something we're going to keep watching continuing through the rest of the evening hours. Now, here's a look, and you can see when I put this into motion how this expands. That just shows us that that's not really real there on the south side. But I want you to focus on what we're seeing here north of I-20. Those are the main areas where we're seeing some of that rain. Again, here in Atlanta, not much going on, but I want you to look at this over here in the Gwinnett County area. We have been getting some impressive rainfall amounts over in Gwinnett County during the evening hours tonight. In fact, I'm going to zoom in a little bit tighter here so you can see this area that we're watching. And we've had pockets of heavy rain that started around Snellville. These moved up to around Lawrenceville and then pushed up into the northeastern parts of the county. We had this that kind of hung out there, not too far off from the Lilburn area here, getting closer to 85 right there along 29. This piece kind of expanded up around Sugar Hill with some really heavy rain and thunder and lightning with that. We still have some thunder and lightning from Gwinnett moving into areas of Barrow County. But at least this is starting to break up just a little bit now, and it's not quite as heavy as it was, and at least we're seeing some movement with these showers that are up in parts of Gwinnett County, but we do have some impressive rainfall amounts there. This is a look. Our Doppler radar can estimate how much rain has fallen, and where you see the green colors, that's generally rainfall amounts that are around a ½ inch or less. So most places picked up a ½ inch or less today. Where you see some of the blues and then some of the purples and even some of the reds here, and I'll take a closer look at that in just a moment, that's where we see some of those higher rainfall amounts. So I'm going to zoom into some of these areas. I'm going to take you back here to Lawrenceville because that is where we see some of those heavier amounts right up here in parts of Gwinnett County. All right. First off, I'll show you this one area where we see the red, and right along 85, going up into parts of, that's in North Gwinnett there, right before you get to the Jackson County line. But in this area, so the Mall of Georgia would be right here. This would be closer to Hamilton Mill, the Gravel Springs Road exit, that area up there. We are seeing some spots getting closer to Houston up here, right there on the county lines that you see here. There are spots there where our Doppler radar is estimating 3.4 inches of rain. Now, this is where our Doppler radar estimates get a little bit tricky. We did have some small hail in association with some of these showers, mainly pea-size hail with some of the storms coming through. And sometimes that messes up the Doppler radar estimates on actual rainfall. So that's why those numbers may be off a little bit. But just plenty of moisture there in these spots. I want to give you an estimate on that down just to the east of Snellville. Because that's the purple color we see there, indicating 3.6 inches of rain. Again, estimates by Doppler radar, and a little bit of hail was possible there too, so that might kind of skew some of those totals. But some impressive rainfall amounts there. The blues that you see around Snellville, that's where we have some, I say lighter amounts, but still radar estimating about 1.5 inches of rain fell in some of those spots, as well as the southern parts of Hall County. About 1 inch of rain, about 1 inch near the Winder area. an inch and a half in some of the spots there. So impressive rainfall amounts. Now, I want to take you to some other spots where we're also seeing some of these reflectivities showing some impressive rain, and that's up in parts of northeast Georgia. So here's Helen in White County, Mossy Creek. Suchess is right over here. This is Dawson County, and then this is Lumpkin County. I want to show you what this red kind of color area is showing us there. Almost 3 inches of rain in this area just south of Suchess. So another one here north of Cartacay. We'll get an estimate on that where we're seeing some of these bands indicating maybe about 1.5 inches of rain. So impressive rainfall amounts in spots. So as I mentioned, it's kind of like we said, the haves and have-nots. Not everybody is seeing that those heavy amounts of rain. Let me take you up here to northwest Georgia. I'll show you some of these totals, like around Rome and Armurchie. We've got some spots there indicating where we have north of Armurchie about 2.7, north of Rome about 1.8, and then in the western parts of Bartow County between Cartersville and Rome, about 2.6 inches of rain possible, again, by our Doppler radar estimate. So impressive amounts here, but again, we have not seen any type of flood warnings or anything, so I don't think any of these are quite to the thresholds of giving us any type of flash flood warnings or anything. But and then again, these lighter amounts that have been on the south side. Also, these are 24-hour totals, not necessarily just what has been happening here during the evening hours. Here's a look at this. I'm going to show this to you on full screen. I'll get in front of the chroma key wall and I'll be able to point out more of this for you with these storms that are, that have been moving through. But what we've got there is the rain that was kind of circling around or just kind of hovering around, hanging out there over parts of Gwinnett County. It is showing signs of kind of dispersing a little bit. We're not seeing as much red and orange with it. It's more yellows and greens and some orange there. Some of the reds, that heavier rain though, pushing up into the northwest part of the county. And then we still have, look at this, a good bit of lightning right here for areas of these spots there. So here's Rabun County, there's Tallulah Falls and Toccoa here, Habersham County getting in on some of that still heavy rain and thunder and lightning. But we do think that these showers are going to start trending downward a little bit and losing some of their intensity where the rainfall rates are going to become a little bit lighter and we won't see as much lightning with it. We have some breaks here from Ellijay down toward Canton, and then as you go over toward Gordon County near Calhoun, over into parts of Chattooga County near Somerville, Dayton-Walker County, getting still some pockets of heavy rain and also some thunder and lightning there as well. And the problem is they haven't been moving a lot, they're just kind of drifting. So that's why some of those heavier rain showers that aren't moving a lot are dumping a lot of rain in those areas. So here's another look. Now this radar image, this is a little different scan that we have here. That takes out all that green color that you see on the south side. So this is kind of confirming west of the city and to the south of us, not as much rain. So all that green you saw on the previous radar imagery, as I mentioned, that was not hitting the ground, and this kind of shows that too. But you can see those showers just drifting up toward the north, and I really think that a lot of them are just going to rain themselves out and things will begin to diminish. We have a few other showers here over into parts of Alabama. Those are moving up toward the north. So I really think for the overnight hours, we are going to see more breaks in the action for tonight, and anybody that has seen a lot of rain will have the opportunity for it to maybe die out just a little bit. Look at this picture that came in from Vicki Zook, one of our 11 Alive Weather Impact team members on Facebook. This was in the Lawrenceville area. Now, I had a couple people in Gwinnett County, I shared this on social media, and they're like, wait a minute, I'm in Lawrenceville. I didn't see this or any rain. It was in a particular parts of Lawrenceville that saw this. But you can see here not only the heavy rain that came down, but also some small hail, generally some pea-sized hail. And even some of that was collecting there on the driveway and then the sidewalk here too. We had other areas, other folks who were showing us hail that they've had in their area. We had a little bit of hail in Metro Atlanta earlier around Georgia Tech. We even had part of a tree that came down at Hemp Hill and 10th Street near the Georgia Tech campus. Right now it is a lot quieter. We do have a good coverage of clouds around. No rain though in our area, but we will see things a little calmer here for tonight and still some of those clouds that are hanging with us. The good news about these showers, We did have a couple of spots today where we had a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings. One of those was over in Putnam County and Greene County over near Lake Oconee, but it pulsed up and was severe briefly, but then before it expired, the National Weather Service canceled it because it started losing some of its strength. So we don't really expect any severe storms out there for tonight, and we don't expect any really over the next couple of days either. But just know that some of these showers, even though they're below severe status, could still have some heavy rain with them, thunder and lightning, and even some small hail in association with them too. We made it up into the lower 80s today. Our high actually got up to 81, and then the rain came in to Atlanta in the afternoon. And so our high today was right after lunch. And then we dropped with that rain-cooled air. 73 was our temperature at 4 o'clock this afternoon. And then you'll also see that we've been holding pretty much in the 70s. We did actually warm up just a little bit into the late afternoon and early evening hours as that cool, rain-cooled air kind of moved out of here. Right now, we see temperatures that are at 74 here in town. Elsewhere in North Georgia in the 60s. Again, some spots getting that rain-cooled air. 68 in Covington, 64 in the Athens area, 63 up in Blairsville. Still a couple of 70s there on the south side too. So for tomorrow, we are going to see another day with a chance for some of these scattered showers. And just know they can happen at any time of the day. It's not going to be just between 12 and 6, but 12 and 6 is the time frame where those rain chances are going to be a little more likely, and also the potential that we can have some storms with those scattered showers there. So keep your umbrella with you. Now, the reason I'm saying that is because we have a lot of dry hours too. So you might be out and think, okay, it's dry right now, it's not raining, I don't need the umbrella. But an hour later or 2 hours later, whatever, we can see one of those storms just pop up in your area. So make sure you keep your umbrella with you here during the day. And here's a look at the rain chances. They'll be a little higher tomorrow at 50%, down a little bit Friday to 30%, then only a 20% chance for a shower Saturday. We have taken the rain chances out for Sunday, feeling a little more confident that most areas will be dry there, then back to a 20% chance for a shower on Monday too. So here's what we're watching with the rain tonight. See how we still have some in northeast Georgia, breaks around the Atlanta area. Things should dry out somewhat. Then we may see a little more moisture feeding in early in the morning tomorrow. And then that breaks up a little bit. Around lunchtime, a couple of scattered showers. And then, excuse me, in those afternoon hours, that's the better chance that when some of those showers begin to develop in the afternoon with a little bit of heating, temperatures getting up to around 79, 80 degrees, that's when we think we'll have a better chance of seeing some of the storms around versus just general showers. But again, we think they will be below severe limits. And then on Friday morning, generally dry weather conditions here. Lunchtime, mainly dry, southerly flow keeping us warm. And then in the afternoon Friday, another chance for showers, but as I mentioned, we're going a little lower with those rain chances at about a 30% chance for some of those showers that will develop here for those afternoon hours and somewhat into the evening too. Then on Saturday, I really think most of us will stay dry. We're only going to go with about a 20% chance for an isolated shower to develop here in those afternoon hours, but I really think that is a really low chance out there that most of us will stay dry. And we'll see those temperatures warming up just a little bit too. Here's a look at the rain comparison. Now, the European model still showing maybe in the next 5 days an inch of rain. The American model showing a ½ inch. And that would be on top of what we already have. That would be additional rain that will be pushing into our area. So here's a look at our low temperatures over the next few days, staying mild in the 60s. And then we watch the high temperatures, 79 tomorrow, lower 80s on Friday, Saturday 82, back to the lower 80s Sunday, and then Monday around 79 degrees still with those low rain chances coming in once we get toward the end of the weekend, really into the beginning of next week and the middle of next week too. So here's what we're watching out there with the 7-day outlook, indicating where we have that high of 79 degrees. That is in the afternoon hours tomorrow, getting up to 80 on Friday. Rain chances a little bit higher here during the day tomorrow, down to 30% on Friday, 20% Saturday. We're keeping the rain chances out for Sunday, and then low rain chances Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday as those temperatures start creeping back up into the mid-80s. Keep it with us right here on 11 Alive Plus and 11 Alive Weather Impact 24/7 for additional updates, extended updates throughout the day, and a live look at radar anytime.